Hello and welcome to FYI Weekly, your official source for the latest news and information from the city of Greensboro. Information detailing where Greensboro residents live, work, and spend their money is available in the latest edition of the Growth and Development Trends compiled by the city's planning department. This latest report relies on local studies to analyze the way Greensboro's local economy affects and is affected by changes in land use to weigh the city's economic health over the past 15 years. The following questions were asked to determine where residents live, work, and shop. Where have we built and developed? Where are our residents relocating to or from? And how has our workforce changed? According to Sue Schwartz, Planning Department Director, the major takeaways from the report are about the diversity of our residents and the fact that Greensboro is a regional labor force. The working population in Guilford County is significantly older than those of similar-sized counties, and our population is increasingly diverse. The foreign-born population in Guilford County is approximately 10%. The full report is available on the city's website. For more information or to request a hard copy of the report, please contact the Planning Department at 336-373-2149. Summer Nightlights, also known as SNL, is an expansion of the city's popular midnight basketball program, and its premise is the same. The program kicks off in June and offers a structured, safe environment, hosting events and activities during the time of day when crime committed by youth can spike. Diverting their attention may help prevent juvenile crime or reduce juvenile crime rates during summer months. By offering a variety of events and activities at various public locations throughout Greensboro, we are able to reach youth from all over Guilford County. SNL is a collaboration between Parks and Recreation, Greensboro Police, and the library. SNL is in need of sponsorships and volunteers. If you or your business would like to sponsor an event, or if you would like to volunteer to help facilitate the activities, please call Parks and Recreation at 336-373-2558. The City of Greensboro extends an invitation to anyone interested in joining our G team. Explore your fullest potential and learn what kind of jobs are open with the city and how to apply for a government job. Job recruiters representing various City of Greensboro departments will be on hand at the Community Job Readiness Fair. The event is hosted by the city's Human Resources Department. Join us on Wednesday, May 24th from 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. at the Greensboro Downtown Library, 219 North Church Street. The job fair will include a workshop to teach prospective applicants about the iApply Greensboro software used to submit your completed application. Additionally, there will be 2 workshops focusing on winning applications and resumes. Again, the job fair is on Wednesday, May 24th from 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. at the Greensboro Downtown Library. In an effort to help our employees and residents live the best life possible, the city has partnered with Cone Health for a series of brief, informative videos we are sharing in hopes of inspiring you to invest in yourself by getting fit and staying fit. Let's check in with our friends at Cone Health for today's News for Your Health.
Probably 1 in 3 Americans, or 70 million people, has hypertension. And up to 50% of those patients are either not treated or undertreated. 1 in 5 may not even know they have the diagnosis. I'm Dr. Jay Cochrane. I'm a cardiologist. I'm the chief of the Cone Health Cardiovascular Service Line and Cone Health Medical Group Heart Care. Hypertension really is known as the silent killer, and it's because it doesn't cause a lot of symptoms. You really have to get a blood pressure check. The nice thing about that is getting a blood pressure check and getting screened for hypertension is probably one of the easiest things we do. I mean, you can get a blood pressure checked at any primary care office, at any appointment with just about any provider, at the community health fair. So what is a normal blood pressure? Well, typically we treat people for hypertension when the blood pressure is 140/90. Although it's a little bit different what we consider normal based on your age and based on whether you have other conditions such as diabetes. We would begin to treat blood pressure at that level, 140/90 typically. What is normal might be more like 120/80. And in between is what we call prehypertension, where we begin to pay attention to the risk factors. Patients don't know that they have hypertension because one, they may not see a doctor, or two, they may have been told they had high blood pressure at some point in time, but they really didn't pay much attention to it. We see those patients later on when they present with some of the problems that occur with untreated hypertension. We'd like to get to them long before that point. The problems they present with might be heart failure, kidney failure, or even strokes. And all of that is potentially treatable, preventable if they get diagnosis and treatment early. So the question is, how can we prevent or treat hypertension? At times, your physician may diagnose you with hypertension, and you may need medical management from the beginning. But in all situations, your provider should also be suggesting therapeutic lifestyle changes, or what I like to call TLC. I think the bottom line is that we need to reduce our salt intake, we need to reduce our sugar intake, we should be going for more complex carbohydrates, and for trying to avoid the foods that turn quickly into sugars. And I often tell people that's the white breads and the white rices and the white potatoes. And what's really, really important about weight loss and hypertension is that it doesn't take a lot, that we can see reduction in blood pressure from 5 to 10 pounds. And sometimes the reward for losing weight is you actually get to come down or even off of your medications. We should limit our alcohol intake. There's great discussion about the potential merits of something like red wine. The bottom line is that too much daily alcohol consumption is unhealthy for a number of reasons, and one of those is it can lead to difficult to control hypertension. It is a problem. It is a difficult addiction for a lot of people, and it is something that people should concentrate on and try to find help. Talk with your doctor about the best methods, the best resources for stopping smoking. Another therapeutic lifestyle change that's important and that's recommended for blood pressure control is to increase your activity level. And that's critical for so many different health problems. We don't exercise enough as a country. It's estimated that only about or less than 25% of adults get the recommended amount of physical exercise on a weekly basis. We should get about 150 minutes a week of a moderate level of exercise. And a moderate level of exercise is something that makes you a little flushed or a little short of breath, but not something that is so physically exerting that A, you're not enjoying it, or B, you can't do it the next day. For instance, I tell patients if you're walking with somebody, you should be walking at a brisk enough pace that you wouldn't have enough breath to sing, but you would be able to carry on a conversation. This is Dr. Jake Hochrein. Thank you for letting me join you today. I hope this information was helpful. Cone Health is committed to your wellness. For more information, please go to conehealth.com/heart.
The Greensboro Coliseum and Aquatic Center are back on the roster for NCAA championships. We'll have that and more news coming up after the break. Stay with us. Welcome back to FYI Weekly. The NCAA is slated to return to the city of Greensboro in 2 years. The Greensboro Coliseum Complex will host 6 NCAA championships from 2019 to 2021. The Greensboro Coliseum and Greensboro Aquatic Center will host the Division I Women's Basketball Regional and Division III Women's and Men's Swimming and Diving in 2019. Division I Men's Basketball first and second rounds and Division III Women's and Men's Swimming and Diving is on the 2020 calendar, while Division I Women's Swimming and Diving will take place in 2021, and Division II Men's and Women's Swimming and Diving is on tap for the 2022 championships. Matt Brown, the managing director of the Coliseum, says the Greensboro Coliseum complex has a long and storied history of successfully hosting NCAA championship events at the highest level. The Greensboro Aquatic Center will also host the 2018 Division II Women's and Men's Swimming and Diving Championships, making this 5 consecutive years for Greensboro. The Steve Milliken Black Caps Veterans Group will hold a Memorial Day ceremony at the Guilford County Veterans Memorial at 2 p.m. on Sunday, May 28th at Country Park, located at 3905 Nathaniel Green Drive. The program will include the presentation of the colors by the 82nd Airborne Division Color Guard and an address by retired U.S. Army Lieutenant Colonel Susan Danielson with the Greensboro Police Department. Danielson served in active duty for more than 24 years, completing tours as both a military police officer and a public information officer. After retiring from the Army, Danielson worked as a government contractor, providing security for facilities in both the U.S. and abroad. She currently serves as the Public Information Officer for GPD. In an effort to recognize and celebrate the entrepreneurs, the artists, the community builders, and essentially the next generation of leaders, the City of Greensboro is proud to partner with Action Greensboro to introduce our Made in Greensboro installments. This day, we place the spotlight on entrepreneur Walter Latham. Did you know comedy legends such as Tyler Perry, Chris Rock, Steve Harvey, Monique, Cedric the Entertainer, and the late Bernie Mac all have a connection to Greensboro? That connection is Walter Latham. Walter grew up in Brooklyn but eventually moved to North Carolina for college at age 18. Walter began thinking about producing comedy after watching Def Comedy Jam. The first comedy show Walter produced was at the Greensboro Coliseum with D.L. Hughley and Bill Bellamy. Walter's first tour featured Bill Bellamy and Chris Tucker. This led to the Kings of Comedy starring Cedric the Entertainer, Steve Harvey, D.L. Hughley, and the late Bernie Mac. In 2000, Spike Lee turned this show into a film entitled The Original Kings of Comedy, using footage from their onstage performances. Walter has now been an entrepreneur for more than 25 years. He says it takes courage and faith in what you're doing to step out. Through all of this, Walter raised his family here and calls Greensboro his home. In this new stage of his career, he's starting to do different things and become more ingrained in the community. To learn more about Made in Greensboro or to see more images taken by photographers Scott Mothersbaugh and Jerry Walford, visit the Action Greensboro website at madeingso.com. The city pays close attention to growth patterns in order to make sense of future development. Coming up after the break, we'll check in with the Planning Department to discuss the Growth and Development Trends Report. Stay with us. Welcome back. The Planning Department is responsible for the zoning ordinances that govern how our city is developed. Compiling the results of the Growth and Development Trends Report is vital when it comes to long-range planning. Joining me now to explain the key indicators of the latest report is Sue Schwartz. She is the city's planning director. Hello, Sue. Thank you for stopping by.
Thank you, Carla.
So tell us, why does the Planning Department compile the Growth and Development Trends Report?
Well, Carla, the Planning Department is charged with the orderly growth and development of the city. So we have to track where we're growing, how we're growing, if they're growing too much in one side of town, if we have adequate facilities, but also issues like our labor force. Do we have enough people ready to work? Do we have them in the right locations, or businesses in the right locations? So we really need to keep up with all the things that impact the growth of the city of Greensboro.
Okay, and that certainly speaks to a lot of issues, especially equity. As you're saying, you want to make sure everything is equally distributed. So give us a brief overview of the highlights in this latest report.
In this report, we looked at where people shop, where we've been building, and where people work. And it's very important. These are key economic indicators for the city. It helps us look at maybe some deficiencies or sense of what type of jobs people are getting in the city, what's growing, what may be declining, and help us to stay ahead of those trends.
Okay, and we always want to know what those numbers are, as they can change at any given time. Why are these topics important? You said economic development, but I would think quality of life is a part of that.
Absolutely, and some of the things that we found, for example, People are working longer. Our labor force is getting older. We're not replacing it with a younger labor force as quickly as some other cities are in North Carolina. So it's very important for us to not only look at this data, but benchmark ourselves with other big cities and smaller cities across the state to see how well we're doing.
Okay, and that's an interesting point that you've made. Is there anything in particular in this report that surprised you?
I think the age of our labor force really surprised us because it was so significantly higher. The fact that we weren't replacing with younger workers, and also the types of change. Our manufacturing, we all know that furniture and textile has gone down, but it is significantly less in this region than it had been just maybe 7 or 8 years ago.
Okay, and with this particular trend report, you do this report periodically throughout the year, but this one had a very special meaning to you and your team.
Yes, it did. Art Davis, a longtime employee, been with the city since 1969. He was Mr. Data. He had really started a lot of the work here in Greensboro, and he retired in the mid-2000s. Art passed away on February 1st, quite a shock to all of us. But he was so positive and just outstanding customer service, but he really believed that if we got data into the hands of the public, into elected officials, and into staff, we could really make a difference for Greensboro. And we dedicated this issue to him to honor that memory and the hard work that he set and the high bar that he set for all of us.
Yes, we will all miss Art, and I would say he's the biggest champion of the city of Greensboro.
Absolutely. He went on after he retired. I think he was on like a half a dozen committees and boards, Hayes Taylor, and he's just a wonderful advocate for our city, and he will be dearly, dearly missed.
Yes, we miss him every day. Well, Sue, thank you so much. We had talked about the trends report at the top of the show. You've come in and really drilled down and given us a better understanding of what that trend report is. Folks can contact you at your office if they want a copy. It's online as well.
Absolutely.
And this is very important, and we want you to come back for future reports and give us more details of what's going on and trending in Greensboro.
My pleasure.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Stay tuned for a little known fact about Greensboro as we tell you something about the city that's coming up after the break. Welcome back. One way to stay in the know is by attending City Council meetings. Greensboro City Council meetings are open to the public and air live right here on the Greensboro Television Network. Meetings take place at 5:30 p.m. on the first and third Tuesdays of the month in the council chambers on level 2 of the Melvin Municipal Office Building located at 300 West Washington Street. To review the council meeting schedule, please visit greensboro-nc.gov/council meetings. Here's an opportunity to learn a little something about the city. There are more than 90 miles of nature trails and paved greenways throughout the city of Greensboro. The dedicated Parks and Recreation staff keeps these areas maintained. Whether you are a nature or fitness enthusiast, the city's trails and greenways offer something for everyone. There are a total of 11 paved greenways, which are ideal for a leisurely walk, morning jog, or bike ride with the family. Mountain bikers can take advantage of 40 miles of bike trails or veer off the beaten path and explore the Keeley Park Pump Track's hilly clay loop for riders of all skill levels. If hiking is your thing, be sure to take a guided tour walking around one of our pristine lakes, accompanied by one of our environmental educators. Coming up after the break, we'll tell you what's going on in the city if you're looking for something to do this week. Now it's time to check in with Jody Stanley for a look at things to do and places to go. Jody?
Thanks, Carla. This week we spotlight entertaining and informative programs the city offers free of charge to its residents. Everything from adaptive golf clinics to Shakespeare in the Park. Be sure to take advantage of all the city has to offer. Kick off your weekend on Friday with Shakespeare in the Park as Drama Center's Children's Theater presents a youth production of Shakespeare's The Taming of the Shrew, starting at 5:30 p.m. at LeBauer Park, 208 North Davie Street. This show is appropriate for the whole family. Admission is free, although donations are always welcome. The Taming of the Shrew is a timeless story of the never-ending battle of the sexes. In the play, Sweet Bianca is not permitted to marry before her older sister Kate finds a husband. But Kate is stubborn and wild. The show features local actors ages 6 to 16 and will be playing all weekend. For more information, go to dramacenter.org. On Saturday morning, the Greensboro Parks and Recreation Department, in partnership with the Greensboro Elks Lodge, will offer a free adaptive golf clinic for people with physical disabilities from 10 to 11:30 a.m. at Gillespie Golf Course, 306 East Florida Street. The clinics are designed to make the game of golf accessible to people of all abilities. Specially trained golf professionals will teach adaptive techniques for a player's swing and stance. The clinic is appropriate for teenagers and adults, and no previous golf experience is necessary. For more information about the adaptive golf clinic and inclusive recreation offered by Parks and Recreation, visit greensboro-nc.gov/mainstream. Are you a small business owner? Take note, Central Library is hosting a free workshop from 6 to 8 p.m. this Tuesday on how to market your business. Discover how to use the most effective marketing tools available. Gain insight to understand how to reach your customer, analyze your industry, and differentiate between branding, advertising, and grassroots marketing techniques. Explore the components of an effective marketing plan in this comprehensive business seminar. To register, go to sbc.gtcc.edu. Back to you, Carla.
Thank you, Jody. The City of Greensboro has 22 departments and several divisions committed to serving you, our residents and visitors. Let's go behind the scenes in our department spotlight. Community Relations partners with community members in navigating city services to resolve concerns, creating long-term positive relationships throughout our city. Community Relations coordinates City Academy, a 10-week program that teaches residents about city government, resulting in well-informed and civically engaged citizens. The office also serves as the city's representative on the Mayor's Committee for Persons with Disabilities. Community Relations manages the city's compliance with the Americans with Disabilities Act, which includes auditing city facilities, programs, and services for accessibility. Neighborhood and community support is available through staff attending neighborhood association meetings and coordinating neighborhood walks. To request a staff member to attend your upcoming meeting or to schedule a neighborhood walk, call Community Relations at 336-373-2723. On the other side of the break is this week's Way to Go GSO shout out. Stay with us. As we draw to a close, we always want to end on a positive note with our Way to Go GSO segment. Special thanks to everyone who came out to support and participate in the Wheels on the Greenway. More than 70 gently used bikes were donated for kids at the Warnersville Recreation Center, and Crumley Roberts provided the helmets. As they say, it takes a village, as more than a dozen organizations joined the downtown Greenway to make the event a success. Of course, none of this would be possible without the assistance of the volunteers. This episode of FYI Weekly is dedicated in loving memory to Lavelle Donnell. Lavelle was an 18-year veteran of the Water Resources Department. Sadly, Lavelle passed away on Sunday, May 7th. Lavelle served as the public education coordinator, and she was loved and admired by everyone who knew her. We will miss her warm smile, quiet spirit, and can-do attitude. That concludes this edition of FYI Weekly, but you can stay connected to the latest city news by linking to us on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and Instagram. For all of us here at the City of Greensboro, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.